I made a mistake the moment I looked into that mirror. Not because I saw something, but because something saw me back. It started small. So small, I almost ignored it. A flicker. A shadow. Something off. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and it feels different? Like the air is heavier? That's how my bedroom felt the night everything began. I had just moved into the apartment, cheap rent, quiet area, nothing suspicious. The kind of place you don't ask too many questions about. The mirror was already there. Tall. Old. Standing in the corner of my room, angled slightly toward the bed. I didn't think much of it. Until the first night. Part 2, the first glitch. It was around 2:30 a.m. I woke up randomly. No reason. No sound. Just awake. My room was dark, but the streetlight outside barely lit the mirror. And that's when I noticed it. My reflection was slightly delayed. When I moved my hand, it followed a second too late. I froze. Just tired, I whispered to myself. I waved again. This time it matched perfectly. I laughed it off. But deep down, something didn't feel right. Part 3, something is wrong. Over the next few days, things got worse. The mirror didn't just reflect me anymore. Sometimes, it added things. At first, it was subtle. A shadow behind me that disappeared when I turned around. A shape in the corner that wasn't in the real room. I started avoiding it. But you can't ignore a mirror in your own room forever. One night, I decided to test it. I stood in front of it. Stared directly at my reflection. And said, if something is there, show yourself. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then, my reflection smiled. But I didn't. Part 4, the smile. I stumbled back, heart racing. No, 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 I ran to the light switch and turned it on. The mirror looked normal again. Just me. Breathing heavily. Sweating. Terrified. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I tried to rationalize it. Sleep paralysis. Stress. Imagination. But deep down, I knew the truth. That wasn't my reflection. Part 5, I recorded it. I needed proof. So the next night, I set up my phone to record the mirror while I slept. If something's there, I'll catch it. I went to bed, pretending everything was normal. But I didn't sleep much. At around 3 a.m. I heard something. A soft, tapping sound. Like fingernails on glass. I kept my eyes closed. The tapping got louder. Closer. Then, it stopped. I didn't move until morning. Part 6, the footage. My hands were shaking as I played the recording. At first, nothing. Just me sleeping. Then, at exactly 3:03 a.m. the mirror changed. The reflection darkened. And something appeared behind me. A figure. Tall. Thin. Completely black. It stood right next to my bed. Watching me. Not moving. Just staring. Then slowly, it turned its head. Not toward me. But toward the camera. Part 7, it knows. I paused the video. My heart dropped. Why, is it looking at the camera? That's when I realized something horrifying. It wasn't just in the mirror. It knew I was watching. I replayed the clip. This time, I noticed something worse. The figure was smiling. And then, it moved closer to me. Frame by frame, it leaned down. Until its face was right next to mine. And then, the video cut out. Part 8, it followed me. I couldn't stay there anymore. I packed my things and left the apartment that same day. I stayed at a friend's place. No mirror in the room. No strange feelings. For the first time in days, I felt safe. Until that night. I went to the bathroom. Looked into the mirror. And froze. Because behind me, there was something standing there. Part 9, there is no escape. I slowly turned around. Nothing. Empty room. I looked back at the mirror. It was still there. Closer now. Smiling wider. Its head slightly tilted, like it was studying me. I backed away. But the reflection didn't. It stepped closer. Out of sync. Wrong. Impossible. Part 10, the final realization. That's when I understood. It was never tied to the apartment. Or the mirror. It was tied to me. And now, it doesn't need the reflection anymore. Because sometimes, when I'm not looking at any mirror, I can still feel it. Standing behind me. Breathing. Waiting. That I tried to ignore it. I really did. No more mirrors, I told myself. I covered every reflective surface in my room. Bathroom mirror, closet mirror, even the black screen of my TV. For a while, it worked. No shadows. No figure. No fear. But then, something worse started happening. It began copying me. Not in reflections. In real life. Part 12, the delay. One night, I was brushing my teeth. I wasn't looking at the mirror, I had it covered with a towel. But I could still feel something was wrong. My movements felt off. Like my body wasn't fully in sync. I lifted my hand. For a split second. It didn't move. Then suddenly, it snapped into place. I froze. No, that's not possible. I slowly raised my hand again. This time it worked normally. But I knew what I felt. Something was controlling the timing. Part 13, it's learning. Over the next few days, the delay got worse. Sometimes when I walked, my footsteps felt out of rhythm. Like I was half a second behind myself. And then one night, I heard my own voice. From behind me. Whispering. Turn around. I didn't. Turn around, it sounded exactly like me. Same tone. Same breath. But I wasn't speaking. Part 14, I set another camera. I had to know what was happening. So I did it again. Set up my phone. But this time, not facing a mirror. Facing me. I sat on my bed, pretending to scroll. Waiting. Watching. At exactly 3:03 a.m. The room went silent. Too silent. Even the outside noise disappeared. And then, I felt it. Right behind me. Breathing. Part 15, what the camera saw. The next morning, I checked the footage. At first, everything looked normal. Then, I saw myself. Still sitting on the bed. But something was wrong. Because at the same time, I also saw myself, standing behind me. Perfect copy. Same clothes. Same face. Same smile. Part 16, there are two of me. My hands started shaking. No, that's not real. I rewound the video. Watched again. The version of me behind wasn't just standing there. It was watching the real me. Tilting its head. Studying. Learning. Then slowly. It leaned forward. And whispered something into my ear. But the audio was distorted. Part 17, I heard it clearly. I enhanced the audio. Turned the volume up. Listened again. Static. Crackling. Then finally, a voice. My voice. Clear this time. It said, soon, you won't be needed anymore. Part 18, losing control. After that, things got worse fast. I started blacking out. Losing time. I'd be in one room, then suddenly in another. Holding things I don't remember picking up. Sometimes I'd see flashes. Quick glimpses. Of myself. Standing in places I wasn't. Smiling. Watching. Part 19, the mirror is back. I threw the mirror out. Smashed it. Left it outside. I thought it was over. But that night, I walked into my room. And it was back. Standing in the same corner. Perfect. Untouched. Waiting. Part 20, the switch. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. I just sat there, staring at it. Then slowly, I stood up. Walked toward the mirror. My heart pounding. And for the first time, the reflection didn't copy me. It moved first. It raised its hand. Smiled. And said, "You've been watching me." It leaned closer. Now it's my turn to live. Part 21, the final recording. The last thing I did was hit record on my phone. If anyone finds this, watch it carefully. Because in the video, you'll see me standing in front of the mirror. Frozen. Terrified. And then, you'll see the other me step out. Not from the mirror, but into the room. If you're watching this, I'm not the one in control anymore. I don't know how much time I have left. Or if I'm even me. Something has changed. Something has taken over. And I think it's already pretending to be me. Part 23, I can see it without mirrors. It doesn't need reflections anymore. I see it everywhere now. In shadows. In dark corners. In the glass of my phone screen, even when it's off. But the worst part? Sometimes I see it when my eyes are closed. Standing behind me. Closer each time. Part 24, it's inside my head. I started hearing thoughts that weren't mine. Not voices. Not whispers. Just thoughts. Interrupting mine. Finishing my sentences. Correcting me. And sometimes arguing with me. You're not real anymore. You're just the copy. No, I whispered. I'm the original. Silence. Then it replied, prove it. Part 25, the test. So I tried. I wrote things down. Memories. Childhood moments. Things only I would know. But when I read them back later, some of them were wrong. Small details changed. Dates. Names. Faces. Like something was rewriting me. Part 26, the truth in the mirror. I finally stood in front of the mirror again. I had to know. I had to see. I looked at my reflection. And for the first time, it looked confused. Not me. The reflection. Confused. Like I was the wrong one. Part 27, which one is real? Say something, I whispered. The reflection stared at me. Then slowly, it spoke. You're fading. My chest tightened. No, you're the copy. It smiled. No, it said softly. You are. Part 28, the memory that isn't mine. Then suddenly, I saw something. A memory. But not mine. I was in the mirror. Trapped. Watching someone else live my life. Talking to my friends. Using my voice. Smiling my smile. And outside, I was the reflection. Part 29, the moment it happened. I remembered it clearly now. That first night. When my reflection delayed. That wasn't a glitch. That was the moment. We switched. Slowly. Piece by piece. Day by day. It wasn't entering my world. I was being pulled into its. Part 30, the final truth. That's why things felt off. That's why I couldn't sync. That's why the mirror always showed something behind me. Because I was the one behind. And the thing living my life was never a reflection. It was the original now. Part 31, watch closely. Go back. Watch the video again. Look carefully. At the last recording. You'll see two of me. One scared. One calm. One confused. One, smiling. The smiling one? That's the one who stayed. Final ending, disturbing twist. So if you're watching this and you think this is just a story, look at your screen. Not directly.